This is our journey into the Busoga region to assess the state of its sports infrastructure. The moment we cross the bridge, the landscape signals our arrival in eastern Uganda. Our mission takes us beyond the well-kept streets of Jinja all the way to Bugembe, the site of the Kyabazinga Stadium. An architectural plan for this facility was unveiled as far back as 2011. The critical question we seek to answer is, what has hindered its development? For over a decade, we are here to find out.
Obuzibu bw'endagaine mu Busoga obwa Kyabazinga bwaife tebuliifaayo ku mupiira naddala ebisaawe bibiino emirundi 10. Era nsaba Museveni ow'eiwanga Museveni tuyambeku abali enguzi abeefuula ba inginiya batole ku itaka lino erya Bugembe Stadium batole ku ebizimbe oteewe ekisaawe Busoga esanukeku muva wala sekere nga Katikkiro tolitugasa ino ogoba abantu tolitwalanga iteeka ate okuzimba Busoga.
Have been moving across the country for the last 3-4 months trying to show you how we stand when it comes to infrastructure development across the entire Uganda. Now, for the last 5 years, the government of Uganda has been very keen when it comes to infrastructure development, and in this moment I'm speaking specifically when it comes to the sports subsector. When it comes to the Parliament of Uganda that do approves the budgets, I'm telling you, for the last 5 years it has been busy, and I mean busy, when it comes to sports. We have seen many teams go to the Parliament of Uganda, which has not been the case in the past. And let me tell you, the government of Uganda is trying to put out storage stadiums to remember. These come because of the Africa Cup of Nations that is just 2 years away, because you all remember that Africa Cup of Nations, Uganda, Kenya and Tanzania will be hosting that pamoja when it comes to 2027. Today I decided to drive my car, come in Busoga, and specifically to show you what is on ground at the Bugembe Stadium, or the commonly known as Kyabazinga Stadium. Many people believe the government has done tremendously well in the last 5 years, including the construction, first of all, the redevelopment of Mandela National Stadium, which is soon going to go under the second phase of roofing. Then secondly, the Hoima Stadium, and then the Akibwa Stadium that is undergoing construction in Lira, that is Lango sub-region. But the question is, what about the eastern part of the country? You all know what eastern part means when it comes to sports, more so football in this country. We've seen a couple of players, and I mean players, prominent players, coming from the eastern region. A case in point is Dennis Masindo Nyango, who recently returned to the sticks when it comes to Uganda Cranes in the game played against Botswana. You all remember players like the late Abe Daila. You all remember players like Simeon Masava, players like, to mention, Kim Magumba. You all remember prominent players like Kari Daucho, Aziz Kayondo, that have come from this region. And when I say eastern region, I'm talking of Busoga region, I'm talking of Mbale. The main 2 stadiums in the eastern region is Kyabazinga Stadium, which is Bugembe, where I'm standing right now. And then you can talk about the Mbale Municipal Stadium in the far east, that I'm yet to go there. Now, why am I here? I came to speak to a couple of people about the redevelopment of this stadium, the Kyabazinga Stadium. It is the biggest stadium that is used by the people in Busoga. And I'm telling you, it hosts concerts, it hosts all football games. And by the time I reached here, there is a game that is going on. That is Namaingo playing Bugweri in the Busoga Masaza Cup. That shows you how instrumental, how fundamental this stadium is when it comes to sports in the Busoga sub-region. Now, if I'm to refer you back, in 2011, the Kyabazinga Busoga signed a memorandum of understanding with one of the companies, if I'm to recall. That company was called Tagi Uganda. Yeah, if I recall very well. And you also that story in the new vision in 2011, 15 years down the road, the architecture plan came out for the redevelopment of this facility to be used by sportsmen in the Busoga sub-region. But guess what? 15 years down the road, the stadium still looks the same. What is not going on right? We are here to answer a couple of those questions that are being asked. Why is the government considering construction of stadiums in Bunyoro, in Lira, that is Akibwa, then in the central region, that is redevelopment of Nambole and other training pitches? But what about the eastern part of the country? That's the question many people are asking. And I'm here to answer some of those questions, interviewing a couple of people that will be telling us about the Kyabazinga Stadium, that is the Bugembe Stadium. What does it mean? What history does it have when it comes to football and other sports disciplines in Busoga? Remember, we are proudly powered by Ntale. That is one of the biggest brands. You want oil, you want Vaseline, you want ointment oil, Ntale is the answer. Ntale always moves with us. Just go to every supermarket, just go to every shop and tell them, I want Ntale, mumpeka Ntale, kakuberemu. So, I'm here at the Bugembe Stadium. Surprisingly, this stadium is located in the heart of Bugembe, because when I reached Ginger Town, I had to drive around to 10-15 minutes. Then I bumped into this stadium. And as I told you, I found a game that is going on, and the stadium is almost half full. When you look at where people are sitting, I'm telling you, people in Busoga really like football and are ready to come and watch these games here at the Bugembe Stadium.
Tituli bulungi nga Busoga n'Isaani yonna ino okutwaliza wala mu mbeera y'ebisaawe, kubanga ebisaawe byali by'amaanyi wano mu Eastern. Kano Busoga waliwo kino Bugembe Stadium, wabaawo n'ekindi ekyambale Municipal Stadium Embale. Aye byonna byonna saawa eno byayikaikana. Aye nga bw'obuuziza, gavumenti eri kujja mu maaso ng'ekola ebisaawe bingi. Bakola Nambole, balikola ekisaawe ky'Ehoima, bawere ekisaawe kya Lira, nkani Akibwa Stadium. Proposal gye twabonaku oba gye twawuliraku nti buli mu region mwona baida kutangamu ebisaawe naddala nga biri ku mutindo gwa training eya AFCON. Era tusuubira bye baataayo ebisaawe baabala kino ekya Bugembe Stadium, bawa n'Imbale Municipal Stadium, nti nga tukaali kutuuka mu 2027 okujja mu AFCON bidda kuba nga biri ku standard esobola okuteekateeka training y'empiira gya AFCON. N'olwekyo tulina essuubi eryo, era tusaba nti eiroboozi libatuukeku nti amazima geene nga Busoga okutwaliza wala ni Eastern yona tituli bulungi mu ngeri y'ebisaawe era batulowoozeeko.
Now, the history I gave you 15 years ago, by then the Kyabazinga Premier was Oweekitiibwa Wilson Muwereza, who signed a memorandum of understanding with the CEO of Gwaivu, that is Haj Twaha. In fact, the CEO of Tagi, that is Haj Twaha Gwaivu, and went into a memorandum of understanding to redevelop this stadium. What did not go right? That's my big question.
Government tuyambi kimala. Government etubuzaabuza ono yali wa Eastern eno Onyango awucho weno tuyina ono alite Kayondo naye weno nate kuti tuyambye nnyo kimala tubona abone bisala bakati abakino kifanana naye kya kingdom yaffe eye Busoga kitegeera naye kati eri hoima mu western batemba mu Buganda naye ene eastern tiri wadde kisaawe n'embaale nakyo kino kyambaale nakyo kiri awo ekityo kifu gavumenti ya Museveni tutuyambe kimala bya sports kitegeera naye twetaaga eveeyo naye tukole ki ekyo tuzimbireko ebisaawe naffe ne mu eastern naye tubeeko naki n'ekisaawe ekirungi mu eastern
nga ife abagizi abamupiira aba mu eastern region eno bababa tebakoze kimala kutusobola kutusobozesa kubanga tusobola okubanga twena tukompitinga mu mupiira guno mu mbeera ed'obuvunaanyizibwa olw'ensonga nti byetulowooza kwegamba ebisaawe bituli bubinga bwokiwulira tuwulira bababa basobola okubanga bafana Busoga eno abatwala eby'emipiira bapulezidenti baife ayi bambi ojja okweyagana nga kabini ife tulekeibwa emabega okusigala nga tubona ebisaawe bingi ino ye baba mbalala tuwulira bazimba tuwulira bakuzimba wona aye tusabye n'obwewombeefu twena batunige mu mugendo bakole ekisoboka kyona mu gavumenti ya honorable eno honorable eya baba waife president asobola okuyamba kwa Basoga asobola okubanga twena bwagire nga akulankulanya ebitundu Busoga batulese inuma Busoga tutweyagaire era nga tuli olw'okwewaayo obwewe olw'okunumirwa olwa baba nti nasobola okutuposhinga mu kaseera kano ayi tuli kusaba n'okusaba kona nga tukoba nti okuva president waife bwali nti Musoga baba magogo tukwegayirira nisa kwegayirira nga tufukamire ku maviiviigo baba tuli kusaba n'amaani mangi kozesa obuvunaanyizibwa bw'olina muganda wange osobola okutaasa twena tusobola okufuna ku bisaawe ebisobola okuba nga bisobola okuzimba omupiira gwa Busoga
baka bwange ngamba gavumenti nga bw'okoze ewalala mu Eastern wano Busoga ni namba 1 okuva e Buganda okutuuka wano tuzza bisaawe dayira Mulimba dayira Mugenzi ayakolera iwanga ekisawe kikaali awo kiryo tikyambwa nediyayira muki okulira mu bameso babiki ayi mutuyambeko mama Kadaga tuyambe mama Kadaga oliyo olugudo didemye abaana abaliwo abazaana emipiira bendo byoku ebyaki ebyenkulankulana mu bigere balina talent abato n'abakulu abakaire muri bagasaya abato emiti emito n'ekibira.
This is not the only regional stadiums that has not been worked on. You all remember in other regions, other parts of the country, we've seen regional stadiums that many people want to be redeveloped. These include in Fort Portal, you all know there is a stadium there that people always want to be renovated. And that you've seen teams like Toro United hosting their games that side of Fort Portal. In Mbarara, there is a stadium. You all know people are always talking about the Kacheka Stadium that needs to be redeveloped. And here in Busoga, you can talk about the Kyabazinga Stadium, the Bugembe Stadium, that needs to be redeveloped by government or either Obwa Kyabazinga. And when you go to the far east, there is Male Municipal Stadium that needs to be redeveloped. Don't go away. As I told you, we are proudly powered by Ntale. That is the leading brand. Ntale, Vaseline, oil, ointment, to mention but a few. Just move with me as we move around the Bugembe Stadium.